Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast, coming at you. A podcast, Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast, almost too good to be true. Today on the podcast, we interview alumni counselor Diamond Wilson. Did you know she graduated from Cristo Rey Columbus in 2018? That means if you are a freshman, she was a freshman when you were still in the first grade. While you were still learning to spell cat and dog, she was working on Punnett squares in Miss Bauman's biology class. Podcast, Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast, right in your ears. Podcast, Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast. Oh boy, here it comes.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Cristo Rey podcast. It's me, your host, Nishan, and I'm here with a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Diamond Wilson, but I go by Miss Wilson, and I am the Alumni Support Counselor here at Cristo Rey Columbus High School. And a special fact about me is that I actually graduated from Cristo Rey in 2018, and here I am returning back to the Cristo Rey family.
How would you say sports has changed since you graduated?
Sports has changed a lot, actually. Being that I was the class of 2018, we were practically the second, not practically, we were the second class to graduate, so Cristo Rey was just getting off. Just starting off, and they didn't really have much. We were just figuring things out, and it was to much my surprise, I found out, like, oh, we have an established cheerleading team. We have a wrestling team, which I found out Mr. Shoemaker founded, and that but work study coordinator is now carrying on, and so I am pretty shocked that how much it has developed in my time being away in college.
That makes me happy considering that, I'm in the soccer team. We just won our second conference in a row. So,
Okay, go ahead.
The girls team, they're still the girls team.
Don't knock the girls team. Don't do them like that.
I'm messing with y'all. I love the girls team. The girls team know I love the girls team. But what brought you back?
What brought me back was how much Cristo Rey has prepped me for college and what it's done for me. During my time here, I would say I did realize the benefits Cristo Rey has brought on, but it was super challenging, stressful. So in the moment when I was technically in your shoes, I didn't see it as much. I was just stressed, and it can be pretty prestigious and balancing all the AP classes, the honor classes. And once I got to college, and I took English 1, I took first year writing, and pure reading other classmates' work, I realized how much I was prepped, not just academically, but also just career-wise, because I also had internships, and I would get in there with other college students, and they wouldn't even know how to work a printing machine. They didn't know how to fax. They didn't know email etiquette. They would literally just say, I need my homework at this time. Like, what happened to, hi, good morning, so-and-so, I'm reaching out for this reason, sincerely, warmest regards, best, whatever it may be. They did not get that.
Hi everyone, it's Koya.
And Jay Sean.
Are you interested in science?
Are you looking to join a club?
Then why not join Science Club?
A club about science. Right after school on December 7th, Science Club will be taking a field trip to OSU's Meet Science Lab for a special presentation on barbecue science.
Oh, and you will be fed.
All are welcome, but you will need a signed permission slip to go.
See Miss Bauman to get the slip. Until then, stay
sciencey.
I realized that I was technically fully prepared for college when, after my sophomore year, one of my professors came up to me and she told me, you're one of the best writers I've had in this class. And I didn't want to toot my own horn, but after reading all the others' work, I agreed with her. Mm-hmm. So I realized how much it prepped me, and I always had a heart for giving back to my community. So I thought, why not return to, the place that made me ready for the world.
Yeah, and what would you say was your favorite thing when you were here?
Good question. What was my favorite thing? I would say hanging out with my friends we all related to each other, and that like we understood the challenges and struggles we face with economically challenged backgrounds. I feel like bullying wasn't a thing when I was here compared to public schools. Other public schools, they tend to be 500 to 800, maybe even 1,000 students, and so that kind of bullying can run a little bit rampant there. But here is like we all came from the same background, we all understood each other, and so we all technically had a family component to us, and some of us came from the same middle schools as well. I would say about a good 3 to 6 people came from the same middle school. And so my favorite thing here was literally just spending time with them and actually growing up and seeing all of us walk the stage together from 6th grade to just walking into college.
Yeah, and you said you were the second class ever to graduate. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
How was the campus with like only 2 years? What do you call it? Like school years? Like the first. So wait, what year did you start?
I started in 2014.
2014. Okay, and so just in 2014, it was just you guys, the 2014 class, and
it was the 2017 graduating class. They started in 2013, but it was like in some little cube building near Mount Carmel West, and I don't know how they did it. I don't know how. I came to Shadow one day, and it was completely shoulder to shoulder. And the time my class came in is when this building was finalized and done with. And it was just us two. It was quiet, most of the classes were vacant just because, we haven't fully expanded to have the all 4 years classes to be here. It was quiet, but again, we all came from the same background. We all understood each other, and it was just us 2 classes. So I would say we became family first. They were like the big sisters, big brothers, and then there was us. And the moment the next class came in, we're the freshmen and we were sophomores, they were the juniors. We were a little hesitant with them. We didn't want to welcome them because we were like, we were here first. We know this, we run this. And they grew on us. I would say I had like some good friends in that class, and the freshmen came in, and I think we finally all realized we're a complete high school. So I would say eventually grew on us.
Yeah, and wow, that's a unique experience, being one of the first ones to be in the school and stuff. You were the first year. You and the class of 2017, class of 2018 and class of 2017 were the first ones to experience this building.
Hey guys, it's Jade. November was Native American Heritage Month. Although celebrating that month is important, it's even more important to find space for Native American voices throughout the year, not just in November. Recently, we had a chance to go to the library for a unique experience. Here's Uzwa and Rebecca with more information.
We had a teen author series at the library next door to us, and it was an event of the author Angeline Booley, and she actually wrote the book The Firekeeper's Daughter. Honestly, when I was at the library and she was like having her whole presentation, what caught me was that she got like recognized by the Obamas, and that they wanted to like have her as like a Netflix series. What did you think?
Oh, I thought it was amazing. The whole event was a new experience because it's not something we do often. We went to the library in the middle of the day, and we got to learn about something that I probably might never have learned of before. The book's about this girl who's from the Sault Ste. Marie tribe, and she helps this detective.
And she uses her knowledge of her culture to figure
culture
out.
and chemistry, right?
Yeah. I thought it was cool because like it wasn't just like a presentation about the book, but about herself and like why she wrote it, and just to give more context to like how Native Americans feel, like especially when they're like being described in narratives when it's not written from their perspective, but then like the other person's perspective, if that makes sense. So I thought it was really cool that she was using this opportunity to like bring light to like issues that Native Americans face and are still facing.
Yeah, that was a point she brought up, that a lot of Native American works weren't written by Native American people, and since she is Native American, she decided to, help the cause.
You said that there was another building before this, though? I did not know that. Wow, can you expand upon that?
It was a little cute building. It's still located over by Mount Carmel West, a little bit west of downtown. It was tiny. I kid you not, tiny. I don't know how they did it. If you think this could be a small hallway, no. You gotta cut it by half. They were like touching shoulders to get to lunch, and then when you came to shadow, you stood out. You really stood out like a fly of milk. Everyone's in uniform. You came in whatever that was appropriate, and yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how they did it. I only came for like one day, and then when I actually came to Cristo Rey is when my class started here for work study training.
And how would you say like the culture of the school has stayed the same or has changed in ways from when you were here?
The culture here has definitely changed. I mean, as I come back, a lot of my former teachers or people who actually got to like just started that year as I was going out, they always ask, do you remember a lot? Does it feel the same? It's nostalgic. I would definitely say it's nostalgic because these were my teenage years. This is where I was an adolescent. I was growing. I made mistakes. I learned. And, I was just like finding out who I am as a growing woman. And I would say, again, it was like Cristo Rey was just starting out. We didn't have all the resources that you have now. We didn't have all the funding. Y'all got heated water fountains now. We didn't have that. You got to run to the bathroom or run to a sink and get water in it. And then there was like 2 microwaves in the cafeteria that there was like 8 people in line for to bat over just to make some noodles. But y'all got boiling water now. So good for y'all. And culture has definitely changed. We did not have 6 counselors. I think we had 2 at the time. So you definitely have the support. Now that I wish we would have had. So I'm like so happy for y'all to have all this backup. You actually have tutors during school hours, whereas like back in my day. We, National Honor Society, we would tutor other students, so we would stay about an hour and a half after school. And that's when Miss Pettit was actually a math teacher at the time, and that's when I bumped into her and we bonded so well because, I fell into needing tutor myself. So I would say it has changed a lot just culturally wise. A lot of the teachers that I know have moved on to other endeavors, so it's definitely just readjusting here.
And speaking on that Miss Pettit part, you said she was a math teacher?
She was when I was, looking over Cristo Rey, and I was like, let me look into it. Let's see who's still here. And I saw that she was principal. I was like, no way, Miss Pettit, you better go, because she was a math teacher. She would, I don't know if she volunteered or not, but during tutoring hours after school, we say an hour and a half, she was there. She was very compassionate. She was very supportive, encouraging. We all struggled a lot with math. It probably just wasn't our best talent, and she will always encourage us like, this is not your biggest problem in the world. It's something that you can easily achieve, get over with, and get done. And so she was very supportive of us. I think she was like one of the best faces that you wanted to see at the end of a school day when you needed help the most.
Hey guys, it's your girl Icy here. Recently I was awarded the 20 Under 20 award, which is basically a nomination that you get nominated for. Annually, the Columbus City Council and the mayor chooses 20 students, whether you're in high school or in college. They choose 20 students that are representing their community, their academic leadership, extracurricular, and etc. And they get awarded with the 2020 Under Award, which is 2 certificates. One is written by the mayor, and then you get a plaque that says your name, and it says the Mayor Award and the 20 Under 20 Award. This also comes with a lot of internship opportunities. You meet amazing people. You also meet with the mayor, which is amazing. And you participate in a lot of leadership programs. And you basically, represent your community in a very, very, very good way. So I always chose up for that award. Thank you for the person who nominated me, which is Chelsea Jones from the library. She works in the teen learning lab. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend. My mom attended for me because I had a speech competition that same day in another state, which I also won first place as well. So that is a blessing. I thank you all for the people who have been there for me and for this amazing, amazing, amazing opportunities. Thank you.
You recognize any other faces from back in the day?
I recognize, you don't gotta quote me back in the day like that. I recognize Mr. Corrigan. Some of their names have changed as, you know, they have grown with their families, but previously I would say Miss Irby, which is like the names have changed again, Miss Abels, Miss Pinheiro, Mr. Corrigan, and I'm trying to think. Miss Lester, she was my pre-calc teacher and physics teacher. What else? I'm trying to think. Oh, Miss Muchler, she was my work study coordinator. Miss Shelby, she was the dean and also the PE teacher at the time. What else?
Miss Fisher.
Mrs. Fisher? Yeah, assistant principal. She was the dean at the time, so if any of us got in trouble, we were sent straight to see her, and she would not be happy to see us during class hours. That means we were acting up. I think that's about it of all the familiar faces I can recall. So yeah, that's everyone that's still stuck around that I remember.
Wow,
oh wait, Mr. Loftus-Weilerhoff and Mrs. Loftus-Weilerhoff, they were theology teachers while we were here.
Wow, and they're still theology teachers.
Yeah, they're still, Mrs. Loftus-Weilerhoff,
Yeah.
or she's no longer in a teaching position, but she's still here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, so we had the same theology teachers.
You have Mr. Loftus-Weilerhoff?
Yeah, I'm having him.
Yes, how do you feel about taking the class?
I actually like his class.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think I would, which I was actually like pleasantly surprised with the little amount of homework that he gives, you know? That's pretty nice.
Must be nice. I think he did give a little homework with us. It was more like a interactive class where you had to read at home, come in and you discuss, talk about things, reflect. And then usually we had like creative writing papers, which was like my favorite part of his class.
Mm-hmm.
I would say his class was like one of my favorites when I had to take him. He can be sassy, which he can, but it's like he's funny. So it's the matter that are you going to take it serious, because he's not an offensive sassy.
Mm-hmm.
He's more like a give you a push kind of sassy, like you can do it, don't doubt yourself, you got it in you. And sometimes it's like, you want to slack, but he doesn't let you. So it's like sometimes you just accept the sassiness and you gotta like bump back, like, all right, I got it. So yeah, he's totally cool, totally fun.
He's always on me about my uniform. He's always on me about my tie and stuff. So yeah, and I wanted to ask you about PWSP. How has it changed, or how has it stayed the same since you were here?
I don't know how much it has changed. I have dropped by, to see everyone. I do know that Miss Muchler, I think she has leveled up in her position, but I'm not entirely sure. Definitely new faces. Every coordinator that I once known, they're now, moved on to other endeavors. So I would say that's definitely new.
Hi guys, it's Naomi. The holiday music concert is on Friday, December 9th at 7 p.m. right here in the school. We will hear from the choir, the guitar class, and the jam band. Not only that, but at the same night there will be an art gallery featuring art from the art classes and photography from the photography classes in the photography club.
I only did 4 different work studies every single year. I started off with the Attorney General with Mike DeWine when he was the Attorney General, but now he's the governor. I did next after that Assured East Lukens, was an insurance broker agency, but they're now known as Assured Partners NL. And then I did Frost Brown Todd Attorneys, which is here downtown off of Broad. And then I finished my year off with Rockbridge Capital, which is a private equity hospitality company. And I think they're still with us, but they're located in Easton. And I would say that I enjoyed every single one of them. Definitely learning experiences, and I appreciate the professional work study program for accepting my feedback and wanting to, try different fields so I can figure out what I like and wouldn't like. And I appreciate them because I definitely learned I do not want to do insurance. I did not like insurance, but you know what? They tried their best to make sure I learned of other different things so I could at least have transferable skills.
What do you do here?
I am the alumni support counselor. So as you know, Ms. Grasinger was formerly in my position. She's now the college counselor, and practically her job is to make sure you get through the door into college. And my job is to make sure I can see you through, make sure you get through college. So I reach out to all the former graduates, including some of my peers. I've previously was here with, and I just, check on them, like, are you financially good? Is your financial aid packages, all lined up? Do you have summer housing, all secured? Because some of them went to out of state. Some students want to, finish discovering who they are during the summer period in those states, and I have to try to help them out, see if there's programs, any resources at their school that can help them stay there, social, emotional wellness to make sure, are you engaged in your school? Because there's more to college than just the classroom.
Hello, this is Mrs. Yelich. December 8th is the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. The Feast of the Immaculate Conception celebrates Mary's Immaculate Conception. It does not refer to Jesus' virgin birth, as many people think. When the church celebrates this feast, it's really celebrating the fact that Mary, at her conception, was preserved from the stain, that's why it's called Immaculate, the stain of the original sin, which means that Mary could not sin. And even though Mary is sinless, that still means that Mary was saved through the merits of Jesus Christ. This was a long-held belief in the Catholic Church among the laity, and then in 1854, Pope Pius IX officially proclaimed this a dogma of the Catholic Church.
So I have to make sure they're engaging, they're getting involved, they're pursuing their passions, and if there's something they don't like, try to help push them outside their comfort zone, and think outside the box to try to explore other things that you might want to try, or eventually start liking yourself. And the final one, I would say, and jobs, just to make sure they have internships lined up, or if you want to do a seasonal job, I just have to make sure that I connect you with other alumni that may want to mentor you, or if you want to get advice from, or if there's other jobs here, especially work study program, if they have any specifically for Cristo Rey alumni, I can connect them with that.
Okay. What's some advice you would give for the students who don't like their job right now?
Doesn't like their work study? I would say you may not like it, but there's always a chance to learn something. I mean, that's something itself. You discovered that is a field you don't want to go into. That's better than not knowing at all what you want to do, is knowing something you don't want to do. And there's transferable skills in every single field. That means, okay, you may, for me, I did not favor the insurance field. However, I went to meetings. I scribed whatever notes were being taken. I was trained to take the valuable points, so I can put those in a presentation that can be furthered, delivered to other employees or colleagues within that respective business. So that was a transferable skill of mine. I know how to take notes. I know how to keep my eye on the most important details that are necessary. And although it was about insurance, it's a skill that I can learn. I can bring to law. I can bring to political science, which was my major. I could bring to, if you want to do pre-med, you know how to take notes in the classroom. You know how to take notes during your internship. You know how to carry on further endeavors due to just learning here.
Hey guys, it's Emily here, and I for one cannot believe that next week the semester ends, and the week after that midterms begin. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm pretty shocked in how quick this year has gone. It feels just like yesterday, where we all walked through those big green doors for either the first time, second, third, or last time to start the year. I say this a lot in the podcast, but let me just say it one more time. Life is like a big open plan, or at least that's how I see it. You never know what you're going to see unless you keep moving, but you can't have your eyes on your feet either. You have to keep looking up, or else you can't see where you're going. Can't see where you're going? You don't know where you are. And if you get scared by what you see, you have to keep moving forward. Because if you don't, then what was all that past work you put into the future for? Why waste all of that time in your life when you never see the fruits of your labor? Because that is the only thing we can never get back, our time. So don't waste it. Keep going. Use it to its fullest, because you never truly understand how much time you have left until it all runs out.
Yeah, that's some advice that I need because I want to get into pre-med.
Well, if you want to get in pre-med, the health industry is very wide. Mm-hmm. Do you want to be a doctor? Mm-hmm. You want to be a doctor? Yeah. They're going to probably teach you how I just said scribe is how to take notes. And once you get into medical school, you need to know how to take notes. Mm-hmm. Undergrad, you need to know how to take notes. I know that from some of my pharm colleagues that were that major or biomed, they went crazy for exams. And one of the essential things you need to know how to do was take the most important notes, because the teacher's going to just teach the entire chapter. But it's your job to know what's going to be on that test. It's your job to know what you need to know, because if you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be in charge of lives. So it's like, it just needs to make sure that you know what you're doing and you know what you need to know at the end of the day.
What are some last few words you have for the students before the podcast is over?
I want to say, as a Cristo Rey student now, I understand where your stress is. I understand your challenges you're facing. I literally walked in your shoes, and not only just walked in them, I walked the mile. And I'm more than happy to say I came from Cristo Rey. I mean, I obviously returned for a reason. I know the value in it. I see the benefits it can provide. And for everyone who's like, just trying to see, is Cristo Rey worth it right now, and they can't see that light in the tunnel, it is. And the workload you have now, the stress you have now, it is, at least in my experience, it is nothing compared to when you get in college. Like, this just preps you, like, for the worst case scenario, which is like usually finals. You're going to have a lot of exams all in one. But Cristo Rey teaches you how to study. It teaches you how to time manage. It teaches you how to handle an intense workload. But when I got to college, my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, I've never stressed as hard, or at least found it as challenging to balance my workload than when I was here at Cristo Rey, because I was well prepared for it. Everything felt like a breeze. And then it was my senior year, you got to get your credits in order. You got to make sure that you finish out strong. I feel like the only time that I stressed over my academics was my senior year. And however, it wasn't even that intense because I already knew the feeling. So it's just saying what Ms. Fisher has said to me before, the body can't take you where the mind hasn't been before. And I can definitely say my mind has definitely been through this. So my body was able to handle it mentally, emotionally, physically, all of it. So I just wanted to say to Cristo Rey students now, this what you're feeling now is going to be lighter at the end of it. So I promise you college will be easier. Just hang in there. So.
All right. Wise words from Miss Wilson. Well, thank you again for joining us for this episode of the podcast. And thank you, everybody at home, for listening. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Stop the music, stop the music, stop the music. Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Corrigan. I just wanted to say a few words of welcome to this former student of mine. So, Diamond, welcome. Although I suppose I should call you Miss Wilson now.
That's right, Oliver.
Touche, touche. Well, Miss Wilson, I want to thank you for taking some time to appear on the Cristo Rey podcast. Of course, we didn't have the podcast when you were a student, but did you know you're actually a big reason it exists?
Really?
Sure. Well, the podcast was actually started by former Cristo Rey social studies teacher, Mr. Dybel. You remember him.
Of course. Actually, it's funny you bring him up.
Yeah, he was terrible, wasn't he? But he did have a couple of good ideas now and again. He was your AP government teacher your senior year, right?
That's right.
Well, today AP government, it's a junior class, but back in your day it was seniors, right? And the year that you were taking the class, that would be the 2017-2018 school year, Mr. Dybel had all you guys do a project where you had to make a podcast about a current government issue. Do you remember doing this?
Oh, yes. Actually, speaking of Mr. Dybel.
I know, he was typically really awful, but the project with your class was actually successful. That gave him the direct inspiration to start a real podcast for the whole school. It took a couple of years to get it off the ground, but there you go. Without Diamond Wilson and the rest of the class of 2018, there might not even be a podcast. So for that, we thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, what I was saying about Mr. Dybel.
I know, he was the worst, but the podcast project, that was a good idea. And in fact, Ms. Wilson, I have a clip from your project that you recorded as a senior way back in 2018. This is a real piece of history. Your group recorded this within days of President Trump withdrawing the U.S. from the Iran nuclear deal. This was a huge news story at the time. And audience, if you don't know what that is, here's 18-year-old Diamond Wilson and some of her friends to explain it to you.
Oh no, please don't play this.
Hello, and welcome to this mandatory AP Go podcast that we were assigned to do. I will be your host, Nathan.
This is Giovanni.
I, Diamond.
And I'm Nathan. Today we'll be talking about nuclear weapons, specifically the country known as North Korea, and the Iran deal. Diamond, would you like to explain what the deal was?
Well, the nuclear deal, with the Iran nuclear deal, is formally known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, offered Tehran billions of dollars in sanctions relief in exchange for agreeing to curb its nuclear program.
Would you like to give your opinions on the deal, or?
I think it's somewhat fair in that if we're going to limit their
production and weapons and everything, we should at least support them economically. But we can't be sure that Iran will hold up its end of the bargain. You never know if they have like secret.
But what about the independent group that checks to make sure Iran is complying with the terms of the deal and has never found any evidence that they are in the process of making nuclear weapons?
I mean, yeah, you can have them check that, but you never know. Like, there's always secrets. There's always shadows. You never know if they have something going on in another country or with their allies. You never know if like they're only giving you places they want you to check. You never know if there's other places that they could have these programs being advanced and that the United Nations could have no idea that or awareness of.
What are your thoughts, fellow Bon?
What do you think? Is that you? Are you the same person?
I am not the same person. Probably sound the same, but not the same person at all.
What's it feel like hearing that all those years later?
Is the best put it. It's cringy because I was so young and I was not as articulate, but it's also liberating. It's empowering because I realize how far I've came from taking AP Gov all the way to finishing college.
Well, I thought that was fantastic. You have a lot to be proud of. Despite the fact that Mr. Dybel was your teacher, you did a great job, and you're going to do a great job here with us again in a different role. Thank you, Miss Wilson, and we'll see you next time.
Wait, Mr. Corrigan, I have a surprise for you.
For me?
Yes, I've been trying to tell you. It's very appropriate that we were just talking about Mr. Dybel because I am invited here today. He should be here any second.
Oh no, what have you done?
What's wrong?
You don't understand. Mr. Dybel is not like he used to be. He's joined the dark side. He's no longer Mr. Dybel, but...
Dark Dybel. Yes, and I am here to wreak my final revenge on you, Corrigan. Years of planning have led up to this. Sure, I should have been working on my dissertation, but this, your final moment, will be my ultimate triumph.
Okay. I'm guessing you two have issues now or something?
Yes, he's sworn to destroy me for claiming to be a better social studies teacher than he is, which I am.
How dare you? I am clearly the superior one.
Please, gentlemen. I was a student of both yours, and I can safely say you were both kind of okay, I guess.
I've been looking for a way to get to Mr. Corrigan, but every time I've gotten close, he's slipped through my grasp. I never could have guessed that my victory could be accomplished simply by having a former student corrupted by Corrigan named Diamond Wilson open a door and just let me in. Poetic, really.
I'm sorry, Mr. Corrigan. I didn't know.
I know, but I've got to get out of here. Help!
Don't worry, I'm here.
Oh, Miss Stock, thank goodness. Are you here to help me?
Oh, I'm not here to help you.
What?
That's right, Mr. Corrigan. Ms. Stock is on my side now.
Sorry, it's nothing personal. Well, maybe a little.
Ms. Stock, seize him.
Why me?
Oh, come on, you can take him. He's like 3 feet tall.
Hey, keep away from me.
Quickly,
What
we
are you
must
doing?
bring him to our secret lair.
You're tying me up
Lair?
and
That's a little dramatic.
dragging me away.
Dramatic?
Where are you
Do you
taking
understand
me?
the whole
Stop dragging
being
me away.
evil
Oh,
thing
no.
yet?
What have I done? You know, when you start a new job and you're really nervous about messing up, do you think this qualifies? I don't think things could get any worse.
Okay, I'm here.
And who are you?
Oh, I'm Mr. Schleuball. I used to be the social studies teacher at Cristo Rey.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Did you just see a lady and a guy wearing a really dumb-looking bow tie?
Maybe.
Oh, man! They started without me. I'm here to kidnap Mr. Corrigan and bring him to our secret lair. Do you think secret lair sounds too dramatic?
A little.
Well, anyway, I better catch up. See ya.
This is terrible. Miss Corrigan has been kidnapped by a group of past and present social studies teachers. They dragged him away to who knows where and to do who knows what with him. What's going to happen now? Is this the end of Mr. Corrigan forever? I guess there's one way to find out. You'll have to listen to the Cristo Rey podcast Christmas special next week. I know I will.